So breaking in the senior living world, if for those of you listening, we all have parents, we have grandparents. You're going to go through this process. We just happened to do it in 2020. That was our year, my wife and I. But everybody's going to eventually go through this process. So what I'm talking about is taking mom or dad who, right now they might be totally fine, everything's good, but moving down the road, it's going to be tough for them to make a lot of these decisions. It's going to be tough for them to, go and interview a real estate agent and find the contractors and all these things. So it falls on the kids, it falls on the adult children, which was us. So tell me kind of those pain points. What are some of the biggest pain points that maybe people aren't realizing? I've been through them, but I want to hear it from your perspective.
They're giant problems. So usually, I'll just tell the generic story. Dad passed away 8 years ago. Mom's been doing the best she can. She's on a fixed income. The house is paid off. She's been piddling around the house, and she fell again. She went and got a surgery. The doctor said, hey, in 3 weeks, when mom's out of rehab, she can't move back home. She has to move into 24-hour care. Now the adult children are scrambling. It's literally called, Chris, it's literally called crisis management care. Crisis care. You're in crisis. Why? Because they're really the most important thing is, where is mom going to get the best care, right? Mm-hmm. And so if me and you were brothers, Chris, would that be next to your house for mom's best care, next to my house, next to her house? What level of care do we need? We're not trained for this. And we always say, I call it the most responsible child. My oldest, most responsible child ever was 80. He was helping his 98-year-old mother-in-law. So when I say the word child, I'm really talking about, he could be as high as 80 years old in my case. The burden falls on usually one of the siblings the most. And I find it to be a lot of times the female daughter that's helping mom not only do the day-to-day living, but get to the doctor's appointments. And now let's talk about the biggest one. The average child lives 400 miles away from mom. So the one that lives in town is usually one that has that most burden on them. And now they have to deal with the brother in North Carolina, the sister in Chicago, who are very opinionated. And of course, nobody wants to think the mom's doing bad. Nobody wants to think our mom's ever going to get old. And it's that first moment, like you said, where the adult children are now making decisions for their mother. What a weird shift that is. How painful that it is, even for families that get along. This is a hard time. I mean, there's emotions going on. And I think, we had talked about earlier that your life or your family, you just went through this, your life didn't stop either. You're busy. No. And a lot of couples, I hate to say this, but they might break up during this period if it takes too long, because if the wife is dragged away and the husband's needy and he's like, why are you never home? But she's got all these, what I'm trying to say is that adult child, the most responsible child, is being pulled in so many directions that it is one of the hardest times of their lives.
I can totally agree. We have Nana. Nana's 87 years old. Nana was living in a home. She has a 80-pound dog, and the fire department called us and said, hey, we're here at your house, and Nana fell. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So this happened once, then it happened again. And then finally we just realized, like, Nana, we want you to be able to stay in this house, but for your safety, we need you to, move somewhere where you're safer, So that became a job that my wife did about 80% of the work, but it became a job of, okay, where are we going to move her? Okay. What takes an 80-pound dog? Where is it close by that we can visit? But then we also have this thing over here is, okay, we have this house. How much is it worth? How do we sell it? Interviewing real estate agents, and we have to get pictures. Oh, there's things wrong with the house that need to be updated before it can sell. So, we have termites or whatever it might be. So it was just nonstop. Then once we get the real estate agent in place, once we have the pictures, once we're listed on the MLS, then there's showings. Well, guess who has to now move in with us full time, because we still don't have the senior living community dialed in yet. So now we're taking in Nana. Nana was wonderful. I loved living with Nana. Every night we had a Modelo beer together. So we have Nana living with us. Then we have the dog living with us. Then we have our kids who are being in homeschool because of COVID. Then we're trying to sell the house. We're doing showings. There was an issue with the keys. We're driving across town, getting a key in the lockbox. And I'm like, who has time for this? This is insanity. What do people do if they're out of town or they're across the country or they don't live in the same city? How does this even work? Do you have to, and this is where I was thinking, we are so blessed that at least we live here, but it was a 25, 30 hour a week job for us.
Imagine that, 30 hours. Who has that extra 30 hours? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It was huge.